WWE 2K26 on Nintendo Switch 2 has actually received an update today. This is 6 days before the 30th, and as you know, 2K did announce in their Discord 2 weeks ago that on the 30th they were going to release an update for the Switch 2 version. And we were all kind of waiting patiently for that, but it looks like they decided to release a patch about a week earlier. The title update that we're in right now is 1.05, so we are still out of date. The other consoles, if you remember, are now on update 1.06 as of yesterday. And they're also soon going to be getting update 1.07, which is supposedly going to be a really big update with a lot of changes. So who's to say when the Switch 2 is going to get that one? Hopefully we get 1.06 and 1.07 bundled in together on the 30th so we can finally actually be up to date. But let's talk about the update that we did get today on the Switch 2. 1.05 comes with some performance enhancements and also with some drawbacks. And unless I'm hallucinating, it looks like they messed something up big time with the creation suite. So let's start first with the good news. If you saw one of my first videos on this game a few weeks ago, I showed you a frame rate analysis of the Inferno match running on Nintendo Switch 2 in docked mode. The match from beginning to end ran at about 52 frames per second. I'm not the biggest FPS guy in the world, but even to me, this was noticeably slow compared to the other matches, and it tanked my enjoyment of it more than it tanked the frame rate. Here you can see in this video, which was from update 1.03, so that's the last update that we were on. You can see here how it was running very badly, hovering around 52 frames per second, but with today's update, it looks like they worked on that a bit. It isn't the locked 60 that I was hoping for, but it doesn't hover in the low 50s anymore. It sometimes even hits 60 and maintains it for a little while at least. That said, it's not at all consistent. Sometimes it can stay around 60 and dip into the mid 50s sometimes, and in other matches it might cut all the way down to 30 when it gets really intense. It might even depend on which arenas you're using. So the good news for Inferno matches in 2K26 is they're not as slow as they were before. They run a lot better for the most part, but there are still issues. I wouldn't say this is unplayable unless you're trying to play this match online. I don't even know if this is one of the matches that is available to play online, but if it is, then you probably are going to have a bad time. That would be a major problem for me, but I can deal with this offline. But again, I do think that this is a skill issue on the part of the developers. I think that they should be able to have this match run at a locked 60 frames per second, or at the very least with very minor dips when the flames come out. 8-man matches run about the same as they did in the last update, and if you're not up to date on what's happened with the Switch 2 version of WWE 2K26 since it launched, then when the game first came out for early access, 8-man matches ran at around 50 frames per second. With update 1.03, they were fixed to run at a more stable frame rate and closer to 60 frames for the large majority of the match, with some minor dips here and there. Still not the locked 60 of 2K25, but still and closer to 60 for the large majority of the match with some minor dips here and there. What the hell? I need to learn to read better. Still not the locked 60 of 2K25, but still a major improvement over what it was during the early access phase. With today's update, 8-man matches run pretty much the same. Blake Monroe's entrance is still bugged in handheld mode. Sometimes going from handheld to docked mode will cause this bug that you're seeing here. I was the Kurt Angle playing an Inferno match in handheld mode when I decided to put the system in docked. And then this happened where the game couldn't seem to figure out whether it was supposed to be in handheld mode or in docked mode. So part of the screen is doing whatever the hell this is, and it was never able to correct itself until I rebooted the game. I should note that this footage that you're seeing here of this bug, that was on the last update, and I could not replicate it in the new update, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not happening. So if you guys notice this happening to you in update 1.05, please comment down below. Now to something really weird that happened with this update. Do you notice this? Do you see what's on screen right here? This is the creation suite. Now, I'm not gonna lie, one of the first things I did after I downloaded this update is I went straight to the creation suite to see if they finally updated it to share creations with the other consoles. And what do I see when I get in? I see 7,000 pages. 7,000, okay? Before on the Nintendo Switch 2, when it was just Nintendo Switch 2, we had only about 100 pages. This, it jumped straight to 7,000, so my immediate reaction was, holy, they finally fixed it. They finally added cross-platform creations. That's what I thought. That's weird though, considering that we're still not on the same update as the other consoles. Remember, they're on update 1.06 right now, and we're on 1.05. But I figured, wow, they were able to make it work somehow. And the entire time that I'm thinking this, you know, a few, like maybe 30 seconds go by, and I notice that, wait a minute, why is there only one wrestler on the screen? The rest of them are still loading or something, or what? What's going on? There's supposed to be like 15 per page, right? And there's only one here. So then I thought maybe there was a bug that made it so that each individual created wrestler represented one page for some reason. But then I landed on a page that had 3 wrestlers with the rest of the page being blank, so that couldn't be it. Then I remembered that I had cross-platform community creations turned on, and that 2K did say there was going to be a delay between when creations get uploaded on other consoles and when they go live on the Nintendo Switch 2, because Nintendo needs additional moderations. Because I don't know why, they just do. So then I go and turn off the cross-platform community creations, and the creation suite goes back to normal. As you can see, we're back to 100 or so pages. I don't have an exact number of pages, but it looks like on the other consoles there are, quote, thousands of pages, so I guess that tracks with what I'm seeing on the Switch 2 when I have cross-platform turned on. So it seems like cross-platform creations are finally kind of working, but most of them are not actually showing up yet. We just have 7,000 almost blank pages right now, and the ones that do show up are most likely Switch 2 creations, because remember, we're not on the same update as the other consoles yet, so I think because of that, they aren't showing up for us on the Switch 2, even though we can all see the pages. So I'm thinking that by the time that we finally get an update that happens to be on the same update as the other consoles, that's when we're likely to be able to see all of the cross-platform creations, even though right now we can only see a bunch of blank pages. Alright, for tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to make another video focusing on just handheld mode and how that runs on this update. And I do expect that we're still going to be getting another update on the 30th that will hopefully put us neck and neck with the other consoles. But as it stands right now, the game is still not on par with 2K25 when it comes to performance. Hopefully that changes soon. I'm SwitchPlayed done.